I just spent $6,000 improving my car's aerodynamics.
And I spent $600 improving my car's aerodynamics.
Does more expensive mean more better?
Let's find out.
You might notice that my car's a different color. Well, that's because it's a phoenix rising from the ashes. Hi Car's back, baby, and it's an angel now. We bought two nearly identical Subaru WRXs and we've been modifying them to be time attack cars. One gets expensive parts.
And one gets cheap parts. Then we test them to see which parts are worth spending your hard-earned money on.
Improving your aerodynamics can create an advantage in one of two ways. Number one, increased downforce. The more force pushing your tires into the track, the more grip that they can produce and the faster that you can speed through the corners.
Number two, reduce drag. As you fly down the track, you want to slip through the air as efficiently as possible. The less drag your car makes, the faster you are in the straights.
So, to achieve these two goals, we bought 5 aerodynamic upgrades for our cars.
Rear wings, Vortex generators, front splitters, under trays, and rear diffusers.
Now altogether, my aero kit costs $6,000.
And mine costs $600.
Now in this video, we'll install all 5 of our aero upgrades, talk about how each of them should work in theory, and then put them head to head on the track to see how they perform.
Let's do it, bang.
All right, well, as usual, James is next door shooting something totally else, so it's up to me to get started on our new upgrades.
Over on Low Team, I'm trying to figure out the hardware situation. I've got a lot of washers, got a lot of nuts, got a lot of bolts, you know the drill.
While those guys keep working on the install, I want to talk about each of the 5 upgrades and how they work. Now I've got a 10th scale model of a WRX here in this wind tunnel that we built to demonstrate some aerodynamic principles. Okay, big disclaimer, aerodynamics is super complicated and we're only scratching the surface here, but I think we're gonna do a good job to help explain some of the concepts. Now first, in vehicle aerodynamics, we're often concerned with controlling areas of high and low pressure. We can increase downforce by increasing pressure above the car and reducing pressure below the car. We can also decrease drag by reducing the high pressure in front of the car and reducing the low pressure behind the car. Now let's start with the most common upgrade, the wing. So without the wing, the car actually generates lift. Now this isn't particularly surprising since our model is basically a giant parachute. And most production cars actually do produce lift. They're just heavy enough that we don't worry about flying off the road, at least not from aerodynamics. And we scanned and 3D printed a replica of Hicar's wing and mounted it to our model. Without the wing, we generated 12 grams of lift. And with the wing, the car generated only 5 grams of lift. So that's a net downforce of 7 grams. And we're not gonna convert that into a real world number. This wind tunnel isn't controlled enough to confidently stand by a real world conversion. However, we will be able to compare the components relative to each other to see which one makes the biggest difference.
All right, so the wing is somewhat assembled. Now we just gotta make some marks on the trunk itself as to where we're gonna drill so the wing can attach there. I am already doubting the structural integrity of this thing. Look at that.
Oh my God, it's like we know what we're doing.
Look at that.
Woo! It's pretty serious. Better shave us some seconds.
That's time attack as hell.
You're right.
Yeah.
We got our $2,300 APR rear wing installed, and install went pretty easy, and it looks awesome.
Let's give it a flexibility test here. What do you think?
I think when this blows off on track, it's gonna be sensational.
Look at this thing, dude. What did you pay, $100 for that thing?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I was just guessing.
Seeing the wings next to each other, it's pretty apparent that High Team's is more expensive. That being said, I do think that this will add some downforce, or at least some stability in high-speed corners. I think High Team has more adjustment in their wing. I think that's the main disadvantage we have.
Now before we move on to our next upgrade, let's throw some interesting objects from around the office into our wind tunnel while I tell you about today's sponsor, eBay Motors. eBay Motors has been our go-to online marketplace for parts since we started High Low. Their inventory is massive with almost 122 million parts for every type of vehicle. And with eBay's My Garage feature, those millions of parts can get filtered down to only the exact ones you need for fixing, updating, or just maintaining your vehicle. What we love most about eBay is their money back guarantee. Get the part you ordered or your money back. It's just that simple. Whether your budget is high or low, get the right parts for the right price at ebaymotors.com or just click the link below. Okay, on to our next mod. Let's talk about Vortex generators. Now, as air flows over your car, there will be areas of attached and separated flow. And separated flow is, well, where it separates. Now, with our new wing, you can see that there is a separation bubble between the wing and the rear window. Now, wings work best in clean, non-turbulent air. So this bubble is a problem. If we could keep that air attached down the rear window, that might increase our wing's efficiency. And one way to do this is with Vortex generators. Now, Vortex generators generate vortices. Now, those vortices allow the air to stay attached longer, which is exactly what we want. So we end up with something like this and not a bubble. After adding our Vortex generators to our model, we immediately see no change at all. We also measured the downforce on our scale and saw no difference. Now, that's not to say that they don't work. They just didn't work for our particular application. Every car is different, and what aero element creates downforce on one might cause drag on another car. You just gotta go test it for yourself.
Okay, we got some carbon fiber accents. This thing's looking pretty cool.
It's more of an art than a science. So Adam and I were trying to figure out where to put our Vortex generators on our car. Luckily, we have this footage of a test day where we put yarn all over Locar to see where the air was flowing, and we found something kind of interesting. Parallel strings mean that the air is stable, and that's air that we can use for downforce. When strings are flapping all over the place, that's air that we can't really use. Adam and I are just gonna get weird with it. We're gonna put our Vortex generators almost halfway down the window. If we can improve the flow of air over the car, that potentially means more air that we can use for downforce, and that means more grip at the track. Now the question is, are our $8.99 Vortex generators gonna do anything? They might not, but we're gonna try to give them the best chance of doing the job. Everyone's looking at us like we're crazy, Adam. We might be. You just don't see them like this. This is where the Locar becomes Locar, is with this weird looking shit right here.
All right, on to the next mod, the air dam and the splitter. Front splitters like these create downforce in several ways. First, air pushing down on the splitter creates downforce in the same way that it produces downforce on a rear wing. Second, as your car pushes the air, it builds up a pocket of slow-moving, high-pressure air. Now, if that air flows under your car, it generates lift. The splitter directs this slower, high-pressure air up and over your car, generating downforce instead. The remaining air that goes under the splitter isn't slowed down from hitting the bumper like before, so that air ends up flowing faster. Bernoulli's principle tells us that faster moving air creates lower pressure. Lower pressure under the car means higher pressure on top that's trying to get to that lower pressure area, and that creates more downforce. So with our air dam and splitter installed, we gained 2 grams of downforce, about a third of the downforce we created from our big wing back here.
All right, just test fitting our new lip to our bumper here, and wouldn't you know it, but we got the wrong part. So, gonna have to make our own air dam.
Cars Are Pain t-shirt, available at donutmedia.com.
James and I are putting on the first piece of this front splitter. We gotta attach it to the bumper, and then we can mock up the big flat portion of it, keep it glued to the ground.
All right, so I may have had an overreaction. We got the fit with Adam's encouragement. Looks cool. Let's put her on.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. It's gonna look great with the plywood tucking out from under it.
Guys, I think you did a great job securing this lip to my grill, but I think I need a little bit more security.
Dude.
This thing looks so mean. I approve, this is sweet. Okay, we're gonna make our splitter out of cardboard. Just kidding. I got the packaging that Hicar's splitter came in. We're gonna use it to trace Hicar's splitter while they're not looking and make it out of plywood. It's a little wobbly, but you know what? We can sand it down. Looks very familiar. All right. That was fun. Chapter splinters. I feel like we've come a long way, Eddie, in terms of craftsmanship.
All right, we're making some little brackets to support the front splitter and the front portion of our under tray. basically gonna look like this. So just welding them up and then we'll make more of them for low carb.
Yay!
This sucker ain't going nowhere.
Teamwork.
All right, the splitter is painted. Now all we gotta do is mock it up to the bumper, see if it fits. It should, because we copied High Team. I think it fits. Hey, yay! That looks so cool. Oh, it's a little heavier. There we go. Oh, that looks so cool.
It's our arts and crafts version of the
Yeah. We still need to support the splitter from the underside of the car using a bracket that High Team has devised. Then we kind of got to start planning the underbody for the car. This is gonna be the hard part.
Let's talk about the under tray. Now, under trays work alongside the front splitter, ensuring that the air flowing under the car is moving as fast as possible, creating that lovely low pressure. Now, the underbody of our model car here is not an accurate representation of a full-size WRX, obviously. So it's not really a fair comparison against the other mods. However, our gaffer tape under tray did add 7 grams of downforce, the exact same as our wing. The underbody of our car was already pretty flat, so honestly, it might have added even more downforce if we had started with a more accurate model. Either way, under trays are super impactful. Unfortunately, they also make working on your car really annoying.
I think it's gonna work out pretty well, to be honest with you.
Carpentry, add it to the list of special skills.
So this is an interesting day. I feel a little bit like I'm on low team. We're having to DIY stuff. We're having to make stuff out of random materials. Honestly, I don't mind. It's kind of fun. Get to do a little fabricating, a little thinking outside of the box. I wish I had a little bit more time, but I think we're gonna make it happen.
All right, so this is our first piece of Alumilite that Adam just cut off. We're gonna place it under the car and begin the flat bottom process.
All right.
Wow, that was easy. All right, so we only have to do that 4 more times and then this panel's done.
Yeah.
And then we move on to the back.
Hey, that's not too bad. Yeah, this turned out way better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Was less of a lift than I thought it was going to be too.
Yes.
Definitely thought it was going to be more difficult. So I'm happy that we pushed through with it.
Me too.
Let's talk about our final piece, the rear diffuser. Now, fast moving air under your car is great because it sucks your car to the road. However, as that low pressure exits the rear of the car, it'll go from sucking your car down to dragging it back. And the rear diffuser allows the air to expand and slow down, increasing in pressure. So as you can see from our wind tunnel, we've got a large recirculating bubble of low pressure at the rear of the car, causing drag. It's not good, but when we add our rear diffuser, the bubble becomes much smaller and stays tighter to the back of the car, reducing drag. Now, we didn't actually see any change in downforce when we added our diffuser here in our model. And my theory is that this particularly ugly design of ours is reducing drag, but not making any difference when it comes to the pressure differential between the top and bottom of the car. Also, for a diffuser to really work, you usually have to cut the bumper a bit to get the gradual slope you want. Neither high or low team is doing that. So we'll see.
It looks great, looks awesome. I'm not looking forward to installing mine, that's all I'm saying. There's no way it fits as well as this does. Oh yeah. I mean, that's all we're gonna get right there. Okay, we're gonna have to do some trimming. At least it's plastic, we can trim it pretty easily. Custom, very impressive.
All right, sweet.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, for plastic, it's pretty sturdy.
Just keep pressure on it and let the back tilt down. Just gotta make a few holes, bolt a few things in, and it's looking pretty good.
Who knows how much diffusing it's actually gonna do, but we tried our best. We gave it the best shot of actually working.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Front lip and splitter, rear diffuser, Vortex generators, wing, flat bottom, all officially on. Now it's time to go to the track and see the difference between $6,000 worth of aero and $600 worth of aero. go. Yeah, baby. All right, so with the nicer tires, nicer brakes, nicer turbo, high car is already faster than low car. So the name of the game today is self-improvement. Whichever car shaves the most seconds off their time is what you should spend your hard-earned money on.
Last time we were at Willow Springs for our turbo testing, the conditions weren't exactly ideal. The track was a little damp. Since we couldn't get any clean laps the week before, we still needed to lay down some baselines. Because our aero parts come off quicker than they go on, we decided to do our baseline test after running our cars with their new aero. Whoever sees the most improvement wins. What could go wrong?
Did he just blow another engine? Oh my God.
Tell him to bring it in case he doesn't notice.
Oh man.
Oh no. Well, we found the source of the smoke that no one was letting out on track. The body's making contact with the tire in a pretty serious way. This thing is cut real deep. I can see the cords. I think we need a new tire.
We were nice enough to let Low Car borrow High Car's tires for the rest of the testing. Because we're fighting for most improved, our results shouldn't be affected by us using the same tires for each car.
All right, so Adam is laying down his hot lap in Low Car, $600 worth of aerodynamics. Can it match the $6 grand that we spent on High Car?
Here he comes.
That car sounds good. The sun has set on Willow Springs International Raceway, but we did it. We got all of our times.
With its new aero, Low Car ran a 125.4, 1.2 seconds faster than without aero. For the official record, after accounting for the better tires, it's more like 126.4, just for the overall high-low scorekeeping, okay? High Car, with its new aero, ran a 124.2, 0.6 seconds faster than without aero for $6,000, 0.6 seconds. Unfortunately for everyone involved, Low Car won.
Thank you guys for watching this video and everything else on Donut. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. We upload all the time. We also make merch. So go to donutmedia.com and check that out.